What if China didn't need a port to invade Taiwan? What if it could build a bridge across the sea, not in months, but in hours? These aren't science fiction ideas. They're already in development, and they go by the name Shuikao. With Shuikao, China is quietly signaling its readiness to invade Taiwan, and Taiwan is already on high alert. But the real question is, if this is truly a signal of war, is Taiwan prepared? For years, China has kept the world guessing about its true military capabilities. While Western analysts focused on hypersonic missiles and aircraft carriers, a quieter and more mysterious development was unfolding under the radar, quite literally, and now that secret is out. In early April 2025, high-resolution satellite imagery captured something unusual, moving in and out of military shipyards along China's southeastern coast. These were not warships or submarines, but a new fleet of massive rectangular barges. Industrial-looking, slow-moving, and unlike anything regularly used by the People's Liberation Army Navy plan. At first, they were dismissed as civilian cargo platforms or transport ferries. But upon closer examination by open-source intelligence researchers and maritime analysts, the truth began to take shape. These were not just floating metal boxes. They were the Shuikao bridge barges, China's unannounced and untested military bridging system, designed for large-scale maritime transport and potentially full-scale invasion operations. What made these sightings extraordinary wasn't just the physical presence of the barges themselves. It was how deliberately unspoken they were. No official unveilings, no military parades, no editorials in the People's Daily celebrating their strategic brilliance. The entire program operated in silence, almost as if it were deliberately positioned just below the global radar. Yet, the moment they appeared in satellite photos, alarm bells rang across defense communities from Washington to Tokyo. China's usual playbook with new military technology includes hype, showing off drones, missiles, or naval assets with bravado. But Shuikao was different. It slipped out quietly, like a weapon the PLA hoped to use before anyone even realized it existed. And if anything, that secrecy made it even more threatening. To understand how this discovery made waves, consider who noticed it first: the China Maritime Studies Institute, CMSI, at the U.S. Naval War College. Two respected defense analysts, J. Michael Dom and Thomas Shugart, quickly compiled a detailed breakdown of the Shuikao program using commercial satellite imagery and shipyard movement patterns. Their report, later expanded on by analyst Andrew Erickson, revealed a system that had likely been under slow, quiet development for years. They weren't just looking at ships. They were decoding an entire logistics platform designed for military amphibious operations, one that had never been seen in modern warfare in this form. And this wasn't guesswork. The Shuikao fleet, based on what has been observed so far, consists of 3 variants coded by hull length: Shuikao 185, Shuikao 135, and Shuikao 110. Each is capable of unfolding an internal bridge structure to link us with others. When deployed together, they could create a relocatable floating pier system over open water, an innovation not seen since the Allied invasions of World War II. But here's the twist. These barges are not for show. They aren't ceremonial. They don't carry cannons or torpedoes. They exist for one purpose only: to enable something bigger, something that, until recently, the world had hoped was still theoretical. A Chinese military operation to forcibly take Taiwan. The timing of Shuikao's visibility is no accident. It comes just months after multiple war simulations concluded that the US and its allies could struggle to defend Taiwan in a rapid response scenario. It also follows record PLA drills surrounding Taiwan, including blockade rehearsals, amphibious landing simulations, and live fire exercises using civilian ferries disguised as military transports. But Shuikao's appearance didn't follow the usual script. It wasn't part of any televised drill. It didn't carry flags. It emerged during peacetime, or rather, during a moment when peace has become less of a state and more of a pause. And perhaps that's what makes it so chilling. The West has long focused on big-ticket items: ballistic missiles, AI drone swarms, fifth-generation fighter jets. But Shuikao is a reminder that wars aren't just won with weapons. They're won with preparation, the logistics behind the front line. The quiet gears turn while no one's looking. In the changing landscape, it's easy to dismiss barges as slow and uninteresting, but that's exactly why they were overlooked. Now that they are here, they can't be ignored. Without an official statement from Beijing, no mention in China's defense white papers, and no images released by state media, the THEO program remains technically unofficial. However, its real-world presence can be measured in meters, engines, and metal. It exists. And the question is no longer if, but when. When a government builds something it refuses to discuss, but ensures the world can see it, it typically signals one of two things. Either they are warning you, or they are daring you to stop them. Now that the THEO barges are visible, one question stands out. What exactly are they? To the untrained eye, these barges appear to be large steel rectangles without cannons or radar systems. Certainly not the type of military hardware that screams aggression. Yet this is where their true power lies. The Shuikyao is not a weapon. In the traditional sense, it's an enabler of warfare. It is a machine designed not to fight, but to facilitate fighting. Think of the Shuikyao as a military gateway, not a battering ram, but a mobile bridge through which tanks, fuel trucks, missile carriers, and heavy machinery can move from the sea to land. It doesn't deliver firepower. It delivers the infrastructure that sustains and amplifies the attack. So how does it work? At its core, the Shuikyao is a self-propelled barge equipped with a modular bridging system. What makes it remarkable isn't just its size or power, but its design. Inside, it carries a foldable, retractable bridge based on an updated version of the classic Bailey Bridge concept, which was first developed during World War II for rapid military transport. When at sea, the bridge is stowed inside the barge, protected from the elements. But once the barge reaches its destination, likely near a captured beach or coastal area, the bridge deploys. Here's the key. Multiple Shuikyao barges can connect, side by side, with their bridges extending in sequence, forming a continuous road over water. From an engineering perspective, it's an impressive feat. These are not floating planks. Each section must align perfectly under immense weight and pressure. When connected, the structure becomes a temporary pier, long enough to span over 820 meters, almost the length of 9 football fields. This allows large roll-on, roll-off military vessels to dock far from land and offload their cargo directly to the battlefield. While they may appear slow and industrial, each barge is equipped with its own propulsion system, allowing it to navigate open water without the need for tugboats. This makes them harder to track and more versatile in deployment. With enough units, China could theoretically construct a floating port anywhere along Taiwan's coast, even in remote areas far from Taiwan's main cities or existing infrastructure. More crucially, the Shuikyao system can be set up in just a few hours. Unlike traditional port construction, which can take weeks or months, Once an area is secure, it can be quickly deployed, and that's important. The barges are designed to follow, not lead. They arrive only after a beachhead has been secured, and heavier supplies are needed. From a military logistics perspective, this is invaluable. The most vulnerable point in any amphibious invasion is not the landing, but what comes afterward. How to resupply soldiers, move tanks inland, and avoid delays or shortages. Historically, many invasions fail due to logistical choke points, not enemy fire. China's solution is the Shuik-Yao, a floating, mobile, scalable bridge system that ensures the flow of supplies continues once the invasion has begun. But there's more to its design than function. It's also a form of psychological warfare. The Shuik-Yao doesn't need to fire a shot to send a message. Its mere presence at sea, quietly being assembled offshore, signals to defenders exactly what is coming. The main force is on the way. It can create panic, disrupt defensive plans, and force Taiwan to spread its defenses thin across many potential landing sites. After all, if China can create its landing zone from scratch, nowhere is safe. Unlike missile tests or fighter jets that grab headlines, the Shuik-Yao works quietly in the background. It won't appear in propaganda posters. It won't trend on social media, and it won't be easy to spot in real time. By the time it's deployed, it may already be too late to prevent reinforcements from flooding through it. To understand the Shuik-Yao is to understand the new face of Chinese warfare. Subtle, methodical, and infrastructure-focused. It's not about making a big splash, but about the quiet push that changes the story. While the Shuik-Yao might not look threatening, its strategic value is undeniable.